Oh, we're back to the Great Northern Sex Cast.
Hopefully on this broadcast, I will not try and talk into any dildos, and I will vibrators, and I'll just use the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I find that that's most effective for recording.
Yes.
But that's just me.
It's been a few days. I'm already giggling my ass off.
Good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can do this. Mm-hmm.
You needed some good days here.
Yeah.
So why not start with Kim Jong-un? Shall we?
What is with that haircut?
I'm
serious. Is there something about North Korean culture that it's like he could be more attractive. He does. I don't think. Think about it. He probably could. I don't know, but who can tell with their? It's too distracting.
Well, I want to know who told him it looked good.
Well, no one's going to tell anyone there they don't look good. The guy kills his own family members, but I'm just fascinated. The folks in his country that he's oppressing don't know about the rest of the world, but I know he does.
Yep. And yeah, but maybe it's fine. He probably decided that looked awesome. Mm-hmm. And like my mother, rest her soul. Mm-hmm. My mother was in her, 30s or whatever when the big bubbles, of the 60s and 70s are in, right? And she really never dropped the bubble.
She never dropped the helmet, huh?
No.
No,
nope.
my mom had short hair. Okay, my mom had, there's a picture of her in the hallway, gorgeous blonde, sort of a small beehive and all that. But she, that's not going to really work when you're nursing. Mm-hmm. All that work and stuff like that. And she finally has hair as short as mine.
Yep.
Because I know she doesn't like working with the hair, yet she wants it to look good. Because both of us would rather sleep than do our damned hair.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So she finally cut it short enough, and it's just adorable. And we have the exact same hair, and I know this because the same person cuts her hair. And so she looked down and said, your head's exactly the same as your mom's. I said, I know.
Yeah. Yes.
We get the same weird growth on the top of her head. Sometimes it looks like a little furry creature has just landed there overnight. The hair is good one day, and then the next day it's just furry woodland creature on my head.
Okay.
I don't know.
And it's time for a haircut.
Time for a haircut. Mm-hmm.
God, that's funny. Well, no, Kim Jong-un, it's not specifically about him, but this is
okay.
About the Koreas. So an economics professor was the first female nominated to head up the country's trade commission. And she's got serious professional chops. But this guy, a member of one of the parties there, said, you have a great resume, but please fulfill your duties to the nation. Birth rates are low. And she is an unmarried, childless person. And he's criticizing her, kind of in front of the whole, council. Mm-hmm. You're not married yet, are you? And you would have been a perfect nominee if you had those qualifications. She has since gotten an apology. But wow. So had she had the kids and been married, maybe she wouldn't have gotten the nomination because they would have said she should have been home.
Well, yeah.
With
women can't win. No matter what you do, you're too ladylike, not ladylike enough. You're too strong, not strong. It's just, no matter what I have been, and I know I've mentioned this before. I just a lot of the stuff that most women have to go through. Not being in a family business, I have not had to deal with. I just have not.
Great for you.
I know that it's out there. I know my friends have dealt with a shitload of stuff, in them because we've all been in the corporate world for like 35 years now and doing different things, And I don't know if I could have handled some stuff. I'm sure people would have been punched.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, there's a whole other HR matter there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that would have gone through them. Mm-hmm.
What was your take on Las Vegas again? Do you like it or not like it, or what was your deal?
I do love me some Vegas. I haven't been there in a while. Mm-hmm. I'm not a gambler. But I do love to go see shows like Penn and Teller. Last time, it was a long time since I've been there. So I saw like Spamalot. I would love to go now because a lot of the big chefs have restaurants there, and I'm never going to get into them. I'm not going to be at whatever the hell they are in New York or Los Angeles or like that, but I could probably get in and sit at the bar at one of the restaurants in Vegas. Uh-huh. I love people watching. Oh my God.
It's unmatched.
I just don't drink that much. So I'm up early like I normally am. So I go down to the lobby. I get myself a coffee. I sit near the door and I watch people come in from way too much partying.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's great.
guys, you know, with like no shirts and women holding their heels, and their eyes are squinty because it's just too damn bright out. Mm-hmm. And you're like, you could tell they had some fun, and you're just hoping they're actually going, you know, they found the right hotel.
Yeah.
Because I just have some coffee and I watch people walk in. That's fun. I know that's not particularly, but I'm just like, look at that. They had some fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, jogging at like 7 a.m. is a blast because you see lots of walks of shame in progress. That's pretty great. Women carrying their heels. It's fantastic. Okay. Well, Showgirl Video opened on Las Vegas Boulevard back in 1983 and it closed. It's notable. It was the last remaining peep show. And if you are too young to know what a peep show is, if you've never seen that, women or dancers performed for tips behind a window. So patrons would open get the curtains open by putting $1 into a machine, and then they would...
Yeah, it's either curtains or two-way mirrors with lights and stuff like that.
Yep. Yep. And they, you know, had this, and they finally just said, you know what? Basically, the internet drove us out, you know, but it was a 24/7 thing. And now the marquee, the Showgirl Video marquee is going to be on display at the Vegas's Erotic Heritage Museum. We've got to go to the Erotic Heritage Museum.
How did I not know about
I didn't know until right now either.
Well, now I know I have to get to Vegas.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, you know, I don't. It's hard to go get a cabana by the pool. Oh, I got so annoyed at the Hard Rock Cafe because a lot of times you can go to Vegas and like pretend you're someone else, right?
Oh, yeah.
But there's no way that I am anything other than middle-aged Middle West mom. I can't. There's just not hiding. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I attempt to go to like their hangover or their whatever. Sundays at the Hard Rock in Vegas, they have this big party at their pool. And there's a dress code and stuff like that. And I didn't bring anything, not knowing about it. We're going through there. And I was just going to go to the pool and have some brunch and just go through there. But I'm wearing jeans and they don't let jeans in. Well, let's put it this way. They don't let jeans on the middle-aged woman because I can tilt my head, look into the pool and see very young, young women with big boobs, bikini tops, and jeans that have holes in them, or booty shorts are in there. Oh. But middle-aged women don't get to go in there with jeans. And I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking, you just lost my money.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I'm okay with dress code. Say whatever the hell you want. It's their business. It's private. Yeah. That's fine. But if you're going to have a rule, then you go through there. I'm just like, yeah, my friend who's a guy got in. And then, but he could sort of pass off as sort of a rocker, even though, was going through there. Mm-hmm. They got in. No, middle-aged lady in jeans? Nope. Oh, so guess who doesn't get any of my money ever again?
Yeah.
That would be the Hard Rock.
The whole Hard Rock thing just sort of faded out anyway.
Yeah. But no, I think they're still out in Vegas. They still have what works for them out at Vegas, I don't know if they have them in a place, is that they do have a showroom. We did see a band play there or do something. It was a nice room. Oh, okay. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not that, but then again, they may have built something bigger because with everybody doing, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of performers are doing residencies.
Yeah.
In Vegas, and it's spectacular. I mean, that is not, you stay in one place and all your fans come to you. That is spectacular.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and they make so much money.
Yeah, because you're not really making anything off an album anymore. It's got to be touring.
Yeah, for sure. No, those residencies are pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And congratulations if you have the talent to land one.
Who did I see when I was there? Was it Cher? No.
Is Cher still performing in Vegas?
This was a long, long time.
Oh, okay.
I saw somebody.
Okay.
You know who I heard puts on a really good show?
Who?
Britney Spears.
That's what I've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This woman knows how to entertain. I'm like, cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, good for her.
Yeah.
Just sounds like she's had kind of a funky adult life.
Yeah. Yeah, parents and weird stuff like that. I feel, I think you put too much pressure on anyone. Not everyone can handle that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like she has custody of her kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think she's got them back again.
Okay, I thought I just read something. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it's something new. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is more than a slightly awkward story.
Okay.
A couple sues a fertility clinic after giving birth to a baby that was of a race that neither of them were. And basically, it was a white couple suing the clinic after they gave birth to an Asian baby. And it's the Institute for Reproductive Medicine and Science at St. Barnabas. They paid, are you listening to me, $500,000 to get a child of their own. And they gave birth to the girl, and she developed Asian features. And they did DNA, and the girl is not biologically related to her father. They divorced, blamed their relationship ending on this whole situation. And they believe the sperm was mixed up with another donor's, and they're suing to learn the identity of that child's father.
Yeah. Well, I would think that would be, because when I was thinking about parenthood, I looked into Frozen Daddy.
Yeah.
And you got these big dossiers and these files and all this sort of stuff that you're looking through. Mm-hmm. And so, it's got a lot of medical history. And so you're looking through, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, one of the things they were paying for was, if they were using her spouse's sperm, there's still a lot of testing that's done to that. It's going through there. So you sort of know what's going on. And the reason they were doing that was for known reasons. So Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this guy, the father...
Wait a minute, $500,000?
Yeah. And it said his client's sperm may have been used to father other children, and if so, he wants to know who they are and have a relationship. And it's just a mess.
I think IVF's like $25,000 a pop. The freezing and the buying of the sperm isn't that much. Honestly, that isn't. Yeah. So it's going through there. And then there's then one of the reasons I looked into that is that they want you to take something called Clovin or something, which means you could squeeze out a couple of extra eggs. And I'm like, no.
You didn't want more than one?
No. Mm-mm. Now, mind you, when I went through adoption, it could have come up twins. Because it was the next, you're on a list and you just keep working your way up the list. Yep. And if the next parent, the next, set of parents or the next mother who was due to give birth and you were on this and you were at that list and, you're working with the agencies and they were having twins. I could have said, if I had said, no, I don't want twins, the next person on the list would have, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I would, of course, it wasn't like there wasn't a chance, but it was very tiny.
So you didn't know really up until the last minute that you were getting a girl or a boy?
Nope.
Oh.
No, I said, the thing is I was thinking that I would probably understand how to be a parent to a girl more than a boy. It's just, I got the same parts and different things like that. Yep. And some countries you can't choose at all. Mm-hmm. I could say my preference. And so that's probably where they steered it. But I didn't specifically, say. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So this is, really kind of depressing.
Oh, no.
7% of U.S. women, their first sex experience is not voluntary.
How many?
7% it says. So it says the first sexual experience for 1 in 16 U.S. women was forced or coerced intercourse in their early teens and usually with a man several years older. And this analyzed responses, and this was published in the Journal of American Medical Association.
I saw the headline on this, but I didn't have it. I went back to try and find the, because sometimes you're seeing stuff and you find something and I'm going to go back and find that, and I didn't.
Yep. And 13,310 women. So this is a big
sample.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they were on the average 15 years old, and the man was often several years older. They said they were either raped or verbally pressured to have sex against their will. Mm-hmm. Very depressing. And this took place between 2011 and 2017, just before the break of the Me Too movement, but it wasn't that long ago.
No, I do think that folks are going to be. Women still have a hard time being, taken seriously, but that's being chipped away at, and so I would hope that another 10 years from now that that drops
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to get 0 because everyone always is looking for the perfect 100% or the perfect 0, and that shit does not happen.
No.
I mean, we're all going to die. That's about it. But to get those numbers as low as possible is the goal.
Yeah. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that's a lot of. I mean, even if they say it's coerced and they're older, I mean, sometimes the age of consent in some states is like 16 or 15, which is a little weird to me because if you can't, that whole different states and all that sort of stuff is really sort of funky. But that's even if they didn't think it, they called it coercion. That sounds just more like just rape in general.
Well, and it's funny. Yeah. The Dr. Laura Hawks, she's a Harvard Medical School researcher, and she was the lead on this. She said, look, if somebody's verbally pressured into having sex, it's a rape, period.
But I know sometimes there are people that just can't wrap their brain around that. They just, that did not, what I mean? If they need to think of it this way, that works for them, fine,
Definitely. This is a faux pas that, I could totally see how this happened. Okay. So, in Australia, they had to apologize, this one school, because parents of 6-year-olds received letters alluding to genital warts, syphilis, and even vaginal, anal, and oral sex. They were trying to send out, there was this outbreak. A student had, it was this little, an outbreak of I'm not going to be able to say this, molluscum contagiosum. It's a generally harmless condition that commonly affects children at the school. And it's a viral infection that affects the skin. It looks like spots and clusters. It can be behind the knees, by your armpits, stuff like that. And kids can pass it pretty easily. And it spreads really easy. But it can also be spread by adults during sex. So what happened was they were sending the notice out, but they sent like the wrong stuff from the health ministry.
Oh, okay. So in other words, they got the whole article versus just the kid part of it, or they put the adult part
and
in.
it had lube tips and anal sex.
But this just went to the. This didn't go to the kids.
It went to the kids, and the parents were finding this stuff in the backpacks, and they were not happy. But it was. Do you see how that happened though? They didn't. They just took
Yeah, they didn't.
And parents were pissed.
Editing. Yeah, there is age appropriate information that is not age appropriate information. I mean, I don't know if I would be angry, it's like that because someone obviously made a mistake and if so, but I would go, okay, you guys need to do better on this. And I think a lot of times what parents get angry about is that they're embarrassed or don't know how to talk about sex. And so when they're put on the spot to explain something to their kids, then they just transfer their embarrassment and their anger, on to the person that made them or, made them have to deal with this. Yeah, let's go on through there.
Here's one of the dads. What type of education staff do we have in here that thought it was fine to hand primary school children a letter describing sexual intercourse and fellatio? Oops. The education department spokespeople blamed an administrative error.
Yeah, they probably cut and pasted, or and instead of
they got busy.
Yeah, pages. Two instead of pages 1, 2, and 3, they got 1, 2, 3, and 4 or something. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd be. It's like someone didn't proofread.
Yeah,
someone skipped that step.
Yeah. I don't. Okay, this is a weird story, and I really, it doesn't tell you. It did not satisfy me with the resolution of the sitch.
Okay.
Texas man was wanted by authorities for divorcing his wife without her knowledge. 51-year-old Paul Nixon used forged documents behind her back. The wife said that he filed for divorce and completed the entire proceedings without her knowledge or consent, and the court had already completed all the hearings and filed the final decree. But she obviously wouldn't have been at any of the hearings. How does that work? Well, exactly. And she was surprised. She had noticed that he was out spending money on things. And so she confronted him. So he's still there, though. And he's like, well, we're divorced. And she's like, I'm sorry, what? So she got the divorce decree vacated because of it's fraudulently filed. And they're still legally married. But he took off after, she caught him. Now he's wanted for aggravated perjury. So he's still living with her. He does this.
I don't understand.
Now she probably wants a divorce and can't get one because he's missing. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. What do you do?
What I'm hearing is that, whatever lies he told as to why his wife wasn't there to do this. So I don't understand. There would have been layers and layers of people that he lied to in front.
And there could have been, notaries and, fake notaries like that. Because, when I got divorced, I didn't go to court. Okay. We went to a mediator. Yeah. And I don't remember when everything got signed.
But at one point, and at no point, no one ever said, how do you, that's just fascinating.
Yeah.
I actually wonder if she could have if a woman wanted to pull this off, if she could, not have the husband there. This guy, I wonder if he's in sales or something. What does this guy do that he can convince?
Yeah, I don't know. He could have had some pretty, he could have had some accomplices.
Yeah, maybe someone showed up and said they were, who knows? Yeah. But I find that completely fascinating. It's weird. And then if he was out spending and they're not divorced, she's still liable. Well, then again, technically, there's fraud, so maybe she should at least get separated. Because who knows if he was spending all this sort of stuff.
Which can come back on the spouse, even if... Yeah. Ugh, not good. Not good. Speaking of spouses, okay, so I had what I now refer to as the happy hour from hell at our new cabin last weekend. Okay, so the deal was, I said to the neighbors, we were supposed to move in on a Friday, and it got moved. And I said, come over between 5 and 7 and just have a cocktail. It was going to be very casual. Mm-hmm. Well, it got moved to the following week. But all, in my opinion, the same sort of rules were in place. Mm-hmm. And my good friends, my friends that I've had for years and years, all came around 5-ish. Mm-hmm. And they were getting ready to leave at about 7:45. We were all having a great time. And 2 of the newer neighbors that we don't know as well showed up at almost 8 o'clock, okay? That's fine, because anyway, one of the couples I was really glad to meet and get to know. The other one, who I really do like, but the wife was bombed when she got there on her butt. Okay. On her butt. Drives the other couples out because she's so loud. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it was just one of those situations and I'm just like, oh my God. Well, everything just keeps going and I'm trying to keep my poker face on and not be horrified because, I don't want to be a jerk. And then I noticed that her husband, the bullhorn lady, is sitting down on a bar stool next to my husband's sitting on a bar stool. And I was standing up at the other end of the counter near her husband. And I look over and I notice that she's got her hands on his thighs, right? And he's talking to someone else and not really paying attention. And then pretty soon she's really busy with his thighs. And I'm kind of looking and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I might even just let her give him a blowjob if she'll go home. Just shut up. Because first of all, it would shut her up because everything she said was loud. Okay. And so I'm like, whatever. So I'm just sitting there trying to decide what, if anything, to do because my husband is oblivious. Then all of a sudden her husband, who's a very nice man, his eyes sort of pop out. He goes over and he's trying to get her and she's not letting go. So the next thing I know, he's wrestling from behind her, prying her hands out of my husband's crotch.
Does he finally notice that something is going on at this point?
Kind of.
Yeah, he was doing that. If I don't acknowledge, it's not happening.
Yeah, he's talking to the other 2 people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God. And I just thought, and pretty shortly thereafter, 12:30, I might add, I finally got everybody out the door. Mm-hmm. But oh my God, it's like I did not know what to do.
This is why I never have anyone over at my house.
Yeah.
Well, one of the big reasons I have a small house and 2 cats.
Yep.
And there are several people that are allergic to cats. So having a gathering at my house has never really been, that good. It's easier. It's either some other people have some animals, but they have a bigger house or they have an area. It's easier to, people do not start, watery eyes and sneezing and feeling miserable after 15 minutes.
Right.
And then there's the fact that, I'm tired and I'm more than willing to go out and pay for people's dinner when you go out. I keep it's not like I don't clean up my house. My house is I miss my kid like crazy, but I love my clean house. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but when I get home, I'm like, my space.
Yeah.
It's my little purple sanctuary.
Well, I'm going to have to think things through next time a little bit different and plan escape hatches and routes and seriously put a chastity belt on poor Carl. And but oh my God, it was so brutal.
You're just like, early day today. I think blunt. Time. Everyone's got to go. Time to go.
Yeah.
You got to treat them like they're teenagers. Everyone out.
Yep. Yep. This is one I've never heard before. Congratulations to Jenna Evans, who got engaged. But she is a very active sleepwalker. Okay. And she had a nightmare. And she said the dream was, quote, about a very sketchy situation involving a high-speed train and bad guys. But what she didn't realize was she did in real life what she dreamt that she did, which was swallow her 2.4 carat diamond engagement ring. She went looking for it on her hand, and when she woke up and it wasn't there, she said, I knew what had happened. It was in my stomach. She went to urgent care. X-rays said, yep, there it is. And it was all the way to her intestines. And they said it's probably not a good idea based on the size of this thing to let nature take its course. So she had to go to a specialist, and things were really starting to hurt. And they put her under, did an upper endoscopy, and they plucked it out. She has a history of really crazy things in her sleep, folding laundry, but this was the first time where she'd eaten. And, everything's fine. She's going to be married next, week or next May. She said her dress is big enough. I don't think I can swallow that. But can you even imagine?
No. There's a comedian, and he wrote a film about it, like Sleepwalk with Me. Mike Birbiglia? I don't know. I think he's also, wait, don't tell me. He sleepwalks. And he actually walked through a window once, or, there's stuff like that. So he's got to be really careful. And he ended up, turning it into part of his stand-up act.
Yeah.
So I know, but it's just, I think that would be terrifying. I know folks have done stuff on sleep meds, gone downstairs and cooked Ambien, stuff like that. And I occasionally do have sleep problems, mainly because of aches and pains, but sometimes because my brain won't shut down.
Yeah.
But I do tend to find that 4 Advil and 2 Benadryl work really well for me.
You know what I really like is ZzzQuil. That stuff is awesome. I have trouble falling asleep because I can't turn off my mind. Oh, and I go to sleep and it's like, boop, it's best ever.
ZzzQuil. I have to look at that.
ZzzQuil. Yeah, it's really good. A 19-year-old Nebraska woman is charged with negligent burning after she accidentally set fire to her apartment, burning love letters from her ex.
I'm gonna. You know what? I normally don't do this. I'm going to blame the movies and videos. They're always burning love letters in movies. Yeah. But I know, and to this day, I've never heard of anyone that's actually done it. I'm not even sure I actually ever got a love letter. I don't know. But you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that...
Colleen's scanning. She's trying to figure it out.
I don't think I have. I got... But I think I would have... I'm pretty sure I just would have, thrown it away. I don't think I would need to torch it. How about a shredder?
That's kind of, that... Okay. But here's what she did. Are you okay over there?
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, yeah. It's just... I'm still dealing with this stupid asthma crap. So...
But listen to this. She used a butane torch to burn the letters. See, I saved the best for last. And then,
I wonder if she's a cook. Is it like one of those little torches that you like do the creme brulees with?
Doesn't say. But still, it's a torch, Colleen. It's not a lighter. Okay.
I am so set for this winter because I bought like a little flamethrower that you put in a propane tank. So if I have any fucking problems with ice this year, I'm killing it with fire.
Really?
But I'm not going to do it inside the building. Sorry.
Good.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So not only does she use a butane torch, then she goes to take a nap. Caused $4,000 worth of damage to her apartment.
I don't
know. She doesn't sound like the brightest bulb.
No, personally, I think the circular file, although mine is the rectangular file over here, would be just fine. Just chuck it.
I'm a big Shredder fan myself.
Yeah.
I know it's wedding season I know it's supposed to be like in the summer or whatever, but it goes on all damn year long. But the thing that gets me, and so do the crazy freaking brides that, what?
I was over at Michael's the other day, and I haven't been there in a while. That's it's a hobby, stuff. The wedding section is enormous. Yeah. And it's all, there's like, I don't know, I'm just like, I mean, if I can find what I want to decorate my wedding with at Michael's, don't you think maybe it's a little, like, passé? I don't know. If you're going for a unique, I don't know. I'd rather just go. If I ever get married, I'd go somewhere and get married, come back, have a party somewhere, and, like, rent out a restaurant. And so there's no cleaning, no nothing, no decorating, But there will be a lot of cake. I really like me some cake.
I love cake.
I like cake better than pie.
Oh, I think I do too. So anyway, Bridezillas, in addition to spending, what could start you out on a great path to college savings and retirement, they spend that on a party, which, don't get me started on that. They also get pissy about, they try to micromanage their guests. So here goes a big old thread about this blush pink gown, full length, but it's cowl neck, okay? And it comes almost to and there's a picture with the article that we'll post.
Oh, this is the bride's dress?
No, this is a guest.
Oh, okay.
So it's a pink blush thing, and her the neck dropped almost to her navel. Lot of skin. And she had the bride had an absolute fit. And, she was on a Facebook wedding shaming group, and they said, it's like a front vagina. Her head looks like it's sticking out of a giant vagina. And some people said it looks like it's on backwards. I hope she had Hollywood tape, a dress for hope and art surgery and all this kind of stuff. And another woman said, well, if somebody wore a dress like this to my wedding, they'd be sent home to change.
The thing is that, one, she's made a bigger deal out of it by doing this shit.
Of course.
And two, I've not been the bride.
Yeah.
I've been to a crap ton of weddings, though. I couldn't tell you what anybody wore. I couldn't even describe my friends' wedding dresses, and I was there when they bought them.
Yep.
I can describe some of my bridesmaid dresses. Actually, they were all quite nice. And
that's great. Good for you.
But I cannot think of anything a guest wore at all.
Yeah.
I have no. I mean,
I don't know.
if you put a spotlight on it.
But yeah, true. But, that could be quite a spectacle. I could see that being a little surprising. But okay, why is this person at your wedding? Do you not maybe know that they dress that? You know what I mean? Can you or is it somebody? And it's somebody you don't know that well. Just let it go.
That makes none of that makes any sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah,
you just ignore it. And if you know that someone's going to be a problem, one of the jobs is to have a close friend be in charge of the person that's going to be the problem, whether it's a family member or a friend, if you feel they need to be at the wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you watch the new Queer Eye?
I tried, but I got a little bored.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I just want to.
Okay.
Well, even though it's new. Even though it's 5 new people or whatever, and they seem to be very lovely men.
Yes.
But the show has sort of and they're down south, so they're choosing folks that are possibly a little more hostile to gay men, but I was like, I've seen the show. You know what I mean? I didn't think that they did anything particularly new. You know, but maybe it was because I only watched like a little bit of the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. Well, they do. It doesn't have to be. It's no longer Queer Eye for the straight guy. It's just Queer Eye. So they do all different kinds of places. And in fact, one of them, they actually remodeled a fire station for these guys and all this kind of stuff. But one of the guy, I mean, I enjoyed it. I like the new cast. They're great. But Jonathan Van Ness, he's the hair guy. So he's got the long hair, and he's 32-year-old guy who has just put out his memoir, Over the Top. So that's out, and I know a friend that's reading it, and she's really enjoying it. But he talks about his history of sexual assault, drug addiction, HIV, and all that kind of stuff. And, he says, I want people to realize they're never too broken to be fixed. He turned his life around, and my friend says it's an awesome book. So I just wanted to mention it.
That's not, honestly, I really enjoy a good memoir because I'm not the, sometimes, there goes my voice again.
I had it last show.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is that like, if I'm reading nonfiction, a lot of stuff out there right now, it's like, okay, it's important, but it's too depressing to read. Or I'm like, okay, I want to learn about this, but I'm tired, and so
I want to learn, but I'm tired.
But delving into it, I just don't have the time anymore for that. So I found that like stuff like short stories and memoirs, where I can just put things down and pick them back up, and not have to backtrack a couple of pages, is sort of where my brain is.
Yep.
And I used to be a person. I mean, but still, if I go on vacation, I can finish 5 or 6 books. Fiction, nonfiction. I can, if I know there's not other, but I can't be distracted by laundry or the to-do list for tomorrow. It just, that encroaching into my headspace.
Yes.
So that sounds, if I see that, I could see, picking that up.
Yeah.
Because I like to see, what. Yeah,
my friend says it's great. This is a crazy story. I feel really sad for this poor Danish man. He had, an infection. He had tumors on his penis. Okay. Then they got infected, and it caused the skin to separate, and his foreskin was, got too tight, and he couldn't have sex because that, caused, friction. Right. So they used Manuka honey. And basically,
well, I know that honey is an antimicrobial. It's natural and all that.
Yeah, it's antibacterial. And they 52 days of treatment, his skin finally came back. They've written about it in the Journal of Surgery, actually. They're wondering if this could have applications too for some burn victims and whatever. But it's really kind of crazy. It's a special kind, Manuka honey. And it accommodates a naturally occurring enzyme that produces hydrogen peroxide. Okay,
so they need to focus on this, because if they send this to all the old dudes in Congress here, maybe they'll do something about like bees and chemicals. Because if these guys think that these bees that could save their penis could go away,
then they'll do something. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant. Brilliant. So gender reveals. I'm just not okay with it.
But you know what's fun?
What?
Gender reveal fails videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can Google that shit, and that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't believe, I had no idea like this was a thing until it was being sort of criticized as being too much of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm just like, they have whole parties.
Yeah, you can go. I mean, I think when I first noticed it was, I'm a very reasonable, I'm a decent cook. I don't bake very well. It's a little bit more precision and patience than I have. So I happen to think that the Duncan Hines cake mix is better than the other ones. That's what I like. I like their flavor and the texture and all that. I noticed a couple of years ago when I was buying cake mix that they have a pink cake mix and a blue cake mix, so that you can make a gender reveal cake. Because I looked at this and I couldn't figure out. I actually had to Google, why is there pink and blue cake mix?
Really? And that's how you realized
and that's how I'm like,
thing?
and because what I found was just tons of people going, why are you doing this? So I knew I was, it's there's cake mix on the shelves, and we're at that point. And this is years ago. So so this it's probably gotten even more elaborate and insane.
Wait till you hear.
Oh,
but my point is, okay, first of all, I don't want to be a total jerk. And you know what? If somebody wants a child, and for people that are welcoming children, congratulations.
Yeah.
Be happy, raise that kid.
And I can understand if you want to decorate or do different things, it's going through there. And, there's a lot of neutral stuff out there, it's going through there. But
unless there's the right kind of booze and everything else, do not expect me to take time out of my life to give a shit at what you're having. As long as it's healthy, good luck. Call me when it's out. But, no. Okay. But this is just, the lengths that people go to, it's absolutely ridiculous. For this one thing that is what it is. You know what I mean? It's not like a big surprise. There's a baby and it's going to be this or it's going to be that. Right? Well, at least the plumbing will be. Anyway. So there was a video. So there was a 4,000-pound hippo named Tank that was chomping down on a watermelon, and it had been filled with gelatin, the color of the gender reveal, which in this case was blue. So they huck the melon in. They buy it from the zoo. The zoo allowed this, and so people went crazy. And they're like, oh my God, why are you giving Jell-O to a hippo? I don't know about you, but I am not instantly versed in hippo nutrition.
No, and I'm pretty sure that gelatin with some food dye in it in a watermelon is not going to do a 4,000-pound hippo. Obviously the family really likes hippos. There was that little hippo that was born in Cincinnati that has its own little web page, and
that's cool.
Baby hippos are cool and stuff like that. I have to admit, I like going to the zoo here. I'm not particularly sure that I would have an ice block with different colored dyed fish in it given to the Kodiak bear to figure out what it was going through there if I decided to have a child.
Yep. Yep. But the director of the Capital of Texas Zoo, where Tank, the hippo, lives...
Oh, I'm sure there's a nice big donation check for that shit, so yeah.
Says nope, he eats this stuff all the time. And, it's a day in the life for Tank. So they started selling it for... Really? Really? Colleen?
Do you know what I think is cute though? Sometimes the when they surprise the grandparents videos when they to tell them that they're going to be grandparents.
Oh yeah,
that's okay. I have to admit, that's sort of cute.
No, that is cute, and that's heavy. If I have to watch anything that's just like whatever, it's when you see them all the time, but the military parents surprising kids at school. They haven't seen him for a long time.
Oh, did you see the one where the mom threw out the first pitch and it was her son that had come back? It was like that. Yeah,
I did. Those are so happy. But you know what really makes me laugh, Colleen, is, well, not laugh. It's actually touching as heck. The little kids, maybe they're kindergarten or first grades, and they just are sobbing in joy. Like they're just so moved. You see that, and it's like, oh my God.
The bride, where there was the woman about our age that was a bride a little bit younger, and then her son was actually able to get leave.
Oh,
have you seen that one?
No, I will look it up.
Oh, it's
okay.
Yeah. It's the one son. She'd been a single mom and all that sort of stuff, and they was marrying a really good guy, but he was in basic training. It was done, but it still wasn't timed, and they just went. And he just wrote this letter to the commanding officer saying, I know this isn't done, but I have to ask. Yeah. And they just read this letter and said, yeah. He probably had 24 hours, but he got his ass. And so it's really funny because he's helping, he keeps coming up next to her, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. She suddenly turns around. She just loses it.
We actually...
my kid surprised me just for the weekend, and it was pretty awesome. Yeah. She came, figured out the megabus and came, and that was just pretty awesome.
We, for my mom's 80th birthday, my sister and I, and boy, was it ever hard, because she was nosy, man, to keep her out of the loop. But we flew my brother back, and she didn't know. And we chose Whitey's in Minneapolis as the scene for the surprise. And I've got the video. That was we put a bow on his head, and my brother went along with it. So anyway, happy endings today.
Happy it is. I love a good surprise.
Me too.